In part 3 of Working Stiffs, our series this week on the American labor movement, we want to focus on the variance of priorities in politics within a major union. Our case in point's the United Auto Workers. It's a union with a long-term commitment to internal democracy, but one whose leadership has sometimes been at odds with dues-paying members.
How you been? Hi, John.
Hello.
How are you? How you doing?
Hello, Brother Tucker.
You all right? Doing? Huh?
When Jerry Tucker visits United Auto Workers Local 848, he acts like he's visiting family.
How's the organizing program going?
For 15 months, Tucker has helped mastermind Local 848's victorious resistance to the concessionary demands of the LTV Aerospace Company.
How you doing?
That win was 3 years ago. And as the time comes to begin negotiations on a new contract, Tucker is back with his same message: hang tough.
No company that can't bring out a clear justification for concessions should even come to the table with them. No union that understands the difference should accept them.
There's only one thing wrong with this otherwise traditional portrait of a tough-talking labor leader. Jerry Tucker doesn't work for the UAW. In fact, he was fired 2 years ago.
Thank you very much.
So why is Jerry Tucker such a popular man? The answer is simple. He is at once a forceful advocate for the union's rank and file and a reluctant but feisty critic of the union's leadership.
We negotiate contracts with the auto giants which are statedly supposed to protect jobs. That's the goal is job security. And we see jobs continuously going out the door of those plants. How can the union be standing on the sidelines, adopting a hear no, see no, and speak no attitude about this whipsawing between workers?
For 20 years, Tucker had been an up-and-coming power in the union, but his questions led him into dangerous territory, a direct challenge to the union's national leadership.
So far as this union being afraid to use an adversarial approach when it's called for, that's nonsense.
Still, all around Tucker, workers who cared deeply for the UAW were asking the same questions about the direction of the union as he was.
A lot of workers today wonder which side their union officers are on, because it appears they're completely in bed with corporate America.
If GM won't listen to the workers at the workplace...
From Van Nuys, California to Pontiac, Michigan, locals were winning small victories against plant closings and wage concessions, and in each case, workers were critical of the union's national leadership.
I mean, we're going to allow the system to be pit us against another local union. But we got very little support from our international. Matter of fact, we got none, really.
They got where they're not in touch with the membership, the local membership. Fighting them is just as big a battle as fighting the company.
In the spring of 1986, several local presidents directed their frustrations into a program that called for new directions in the UAW. And they turned to Jerry Tucker for leadership. Within the union structure, he took the dramatic step of challenging his boss for the regional director's post in the Central States. At the UAW's stormy national convention of 1986, captured on home video by one delegate, Tucker lost. 650 votes were recorded, and he somehow lost by less than one vote.
Everybody standing next to you, you can see whether they're a delegate or not.
If there had not been a couple of phony delegates who were given credentials to vote who hadn't been elected, of course, Jerry would be the director.
I think it's a sad thing that Jerry's brought upon himself. In Jerry's thinking, somehow he decided that he wasn't willing to work within the system, and he had to find some sort of a vehicle to bring about dissension, etc.
Believing he had been robbed by the union leadership, Tucker dispatched Pancho Medrano and Dallas attorney John Richards to the UAW local in Brownsville, Texas, there to investigate the charges of phony delegates.
And was there any elections here, or you had any union meetings within the last 3, 4, 5 months?
And we found uniformly from talking to the rank and file that there had been no notice that there was going to be a convention in Anaheim.
I had the tape recorder in my hand and asking questions.
When about 4 cars pulled up on the other side of the street and about 10 men piled out. And my first thought was, oh, it's like on the waterfront, we're in trouble. And one of the men came over, grabbed the tape recorder and pulled a knife and started wielding it.
Just last month, after a 2-year delay, a federal judge ordered the UAW to conduct a new election for regional director of Region 5.
It was their hope that they could just starve Jerry out. But I think he didn't count on the solidarity of the supporters in Region 5.
The message I hope it sends to the International Union is that the members run this union, not people in high offices.
If Jerry Tucker is elected, that gives new lifeline to those who want to build on traditional values. It's the greatest decision that I will see made in my term, in my career as a union official. So I think it's very important, and it will be heard throughout the system.
My political support in the region is even stronger today. That's the testimony. That's the concern of the International Union. They can't seal up enough doors of internal democracy to keep that membership from someday growing up and taking on the direction that they've got us pointed in.
Tomorrow we'll conclude our Working Stiff series with local union busters. Here's Willard.